So your son jokes that New Hampshire is your second home, basically. So you're a truth teller. Why don't you just say you're running?
Because I haven't made my mind up yet, John. But I've told people I'm going to make my mind up this month. And I've got a day job too, you know. And I've got to work on making sure our budget gets passed in New Jersey, that we do the things we need to do as the legislature concludes their session on June 30th. And let's remember something. We're still 8 months away from anybody voting. So let's everybody take a deep breath. It'll all be fine.
When you say you're still making up your mind, is it one day you're in, one day you're out? Or it's you're standing by the edge of the pool and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to go in, but I don't want to go in this very second? What's the thinking process?
It's a linear, evolutionary decision-making process. So I go through all the different factors that I need to consider, and when I'm done, I check that off and I move to the next factor. And the factor I'm down to now, John, is do I want to do it? Do I want to do it? In my heart, is this something that I really absolutely want to do? And if I check that box, then you'll hear me say I'm going to announce for president. And if I don't, you'll hear me say I won't.
Last night at your town hall, I was talking to a fellow who was there. He likes you, but he's also thinking about supporting somebody else. And I want to bring up some of the things he said about you because he might be gettable for you.
Okay.
He said that his issue with you is that you have too much baggage. And here's the first thing he raised, the multiple rating reductions in New Jersey. What's your answer to him?
My answer to that is that I inherited a state 5.5 years ago that was an absolute fiscal basket case that wasn't going to meet payroll in March of 2010, that had zero net private sector job growth for the 8 years before I became governor. Now, when you start to clean up that kind of mess, and the rating agencies, by the way, wake up from the slumber they were in that led us to the huge problems we had during the recession and all the busts that we had in banks and other places, they start to downgrade. I understand that, but what they'll see when they look at New Jersey is that now we've created 186,000 private sector jobs in 5 years when we had 8 years of no private sector job growth, that we've cut our budget back significantly, that we've capped property taxes. And so credit downgrades are just one part of it, and that's really connected to a long-term pension problem that probably 40 of our 50 states have and are going through.
You mentioned what you inherited. When Barack Obama used to say the economy is good relative to what I inherited, Republicans pounded him for it. So why aren't you saying the same thing President Obama says?
No, well, I'm not saying the same thing President Obama said. And by the way, he did inherit a bad economy. We know that. He came in the middle of a recession. Now, the problem for him is not so much the results, but what he's done. I don't think what he's done has been the right prescription for the country, and that's where I criticize him.
Here's the second thing that our voter is on the fence. He likes your bluntness. Put that in the for Christie category, but he thinks you're too unpredictable, too risky as a candidate and possibly as a president. What's your answer to him?
Well, I think he's just going to have to watch me over time. I think I've been not too much of a risk in New Jersey. I think people have seen exactly what they were going to get. I've delivered exactly what I promised I was going to deliver. And so that's just something that they're going to have to learn over time. And that's why I say take a deep breath. Campaigns are about convincing people. If the election were a week from today, I'd be really nervous about that guy. The fact that it's 8 months from today, I got plenty of time to convince him I'm not risky at all if I decide to run.